Good evening, Conservative Voice USA. This is Hell's Unicorn, and I decided to make a little video response here because I don't think I'll be able to cover all the points I wanted to address in a text message, even though I put one up there already. Alright, so where to begin here? First, about your video. I've noticed you got a lot of one-star ratings. You can expect a lot more of that because the points that you made are pretty controversial among us supposed Paulies. Actually, most people call us Paulites. I thank you for at least giving us an original name. To start with the Blame America nonsense. I hear that slogan a lot, and that is a slogan. That's not an actual, accurate portrayal of his viewpoints. It's just a stupid slogan that neocons have come up with in order to sort of brand him as the anti-American candidate, which is nonsensical. I mean, if you look at his policies and his very strict adherence to the U.S. Constitution, he's more pro-American than you are. I'll say that much right now, based on your viewpoints about how undeclared wars are somehow a good thing and worth defending. The other point about Ron Paul's supports being fake, I am the head of the Quakertown, Pennsylvania meetup group, and it currently has 23 members, and I've met in person with all of them. Not all of them live in Quakertown, obviously. You got a few from surrounding towns. Most of them are not a part of other meetup groups. You got a couple people in there that are leaders of other Pennsylvania groups that are coordinating with me, but for the most part, it's 23 people that are real and are actually campaigning. We've had 2 meetups, and I myself have passed out more than 400 flyers in this area alone, and I plan to make a pretty sizable mass phone call campaign in the coming weeks, and I'm probably going to talk with just about every registered voter in this area and in a few surrounding localities. And I'm just one of 37,000 plus people on meetup.com that are doing this. And, the YouTube numbers may or may not be correct. I mean, seems obvious to me that any campaign could be doing what you're describing, but let's say for the record that what you're saying is accurate and that most of these people don't put up videos. Well, not putting up videos doesn't mean that they're not real people. I mean, I was on YouTube for about 6 months before I put on my first video. Part of the reason was I suck with a webcam, and I have a feeling that a lot of other people on here do too. Also, it takes a lot of effort to put together a video. I mean, not everybody's well-spoken and they can't do off-the-cuff blogs like this. And as for actual production with introductions and stuff like that, that takes a little while to figure out. I mean, in order to create a 4-minute video, sometimes it takes me about 4 or 5 hours to edit, to compile everything I need, and not everybody has that kind of time. So the fact that they don't have videos up on their account doesn't mean that they're not real people. It just means they're here to watch, not to create, and you're going to have a lot of that. And as far as the Iowa straw poll results, well, we had a little voting irregularity there with one of the machines, and we had the head of the Mitt Romney, we had somebody attached, with the Mitt Romney campaign overseeing the votes. Can you say conflict of interest? Because I can, and I just did. And now, as to your response to my comment, I wanted to hit that also. Alright, right here, you state, Ron Paul is toast before he even gets started. There's some straw polls in New Hampshire and Alabama and Minnesota, a couple other places that tell me different, but to each his own. He is more toast than Howard Dean was 4 years ago. Yeah, I've heard that comparison before. It doesn't hold together. Howard Dean was a far-left populist who advocated universal health care, which most Americans, including myself, do not support. He advocated a lot of things that Americans don't support, and he had very little self-control when he got behind a microphone. You don't see those problems with Ron Paul. As a matter of fact, the only thing they have in common is they're both sensations on the internet, and that's probably due to the fact that they're both Washington outsiders, and most normal people think that Washington, D.C. is a corrupt town, and they want somebody from the outside in there. Alright, I said the same thing about Howard Dean 4 years ago. Whoop-de-doo, I said the same thing too. I have been involved with politics for 32 years. So what? I'm sorry, but Ron Paul is no threat. Not to me, obviously I'm supporting him, but he could become one to you. Just keep your eyes open. After the South Carolina primary, see me. I'll hold you to that because, once the good people of the South remember that good old-fashioned Mark Twain-style distrust of the government, I have a feeling they're not going to be going for some, cross-dressing, gun-grabbing moron like Giuliani or some flippity-floppity person like Mitt Romney. And as to your last point, Dems may cross over and vote for him in New Hampshire and Michigan. Not just Dems, Libertarians, Independents, bunch of others. My personal opinion, closed primaries are stupid, but again, to each his own. Other than that, forget it. Again, I'll hold you to that. Ron Paul will be a no-show in South Carolina at best, and the rest of the way. Like I said before, I'll hold you to that. Myself, I'm going to be on the phone with South Carolinians when I can, and we'll see how this turns out. You go up to meetup.com, you're going to see some interesting numbers regarding his campaign grassroots support. Paul doesn't need millions of dollars in order to buy campaigners. He gets them for free, and that's because he's a rational human being with rational policies. I can't say the same for any of your guys, but as I've said several times on this video, to each his own. With prudence to myself and benevolence to you, good evening.